Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Army Sergeant Matt Cromer. Soldiers and family members put fitness and teamwork to the test during a grueling 5K race. Army Sergeant Tre Marris tells us about the USO Warrior Rush.
Soldiers and family members arrived early and were eager to begin the 2015 Warrior Rush, sponsored by the USO.
Well, every year each USO center tries to do one special event, so some of the centers do golf tournaments. We figured here we have a lot more single soldiers, unaccompanied personnel, so we'd like to do a race. We wanted to do something that we would have a lot of people interested in.
A challenging and fun course was only one aspect organizers had in mind when planning the race course.
We wanted to have some obstacles that inspired like teamwork, and that definitely happened. We had people cheering each other on. It was a lot of fun, a lot of motivation out there.
Leaving something behind for the next race organizer will only benefit future participants.
Well, like basics, they're going to have a continuity book, but I'm really, really hoping that whoever comes in, like, sees this challenge and one-ups me, like takes it to the next level. That's one thing, like all of the center managers, we always try and build something that the next center manager can build upon. You know, we're here for 1, 2, 4 years. The USO has been around for 74 years, so try and build a legacy.
Is there anything you want to add that I might have missed?
Army Sergeant Tre Marris, Camp Casey, Korea.
Participants face 8 obstacles while navigating mostly uphill course. Combined division sounds like complicated math, but for 2YD, the solution is simple. Army Sergeant Daun heads to Camp Red Cloud to see the result.
ROC and U.S. forces joined together to create the first ever combined division. 2ID now has ROC officers and NCOs embedded within the division, along with additional units attached to it as well.
I've never seen the alliance stronger, and this is just another example of how close and how strong our partnership and our alliance, our governments have been working together. Having Korean officers, ROC Army officers in our formation, talking to us, we're dealing with them daily, even closer. I mean, it's phenomenal.
The combined division received a unique designator marking them as pioneers in both the U.S. and ROC military.
We wear the 2nd Infantry patch, and now above the patch, you see the combined division. Patch capture da, second to none.
Army Sergeant Daun, Camp Red Cloud, Korea.
The combined division staff and headquarters will relocate to Pyeongtaek as facilities become available. Most people wouldn't drive 40 minutes to spend their Saturday morning on an ice rink. Senior Airman Nick Dastas shows us one airman who won't let his age get in his way.
There's a cause that fuels every action, and actions that feed passion.
The sense of satisfaction that I get at 45 years old looking at myself and saying, I can't believe that I can do that. If you would have told me when I started doing this that I would be competing, that I would be skating in ice shows, I probably would have said you were nuts, and yet I have done all of those things.
No one just wakes up a figure skater one day. There's always a first step.
My son was starting to take skating lessons, and when I was signing him up, I noticed that there was an adult skating lesson at the same time, and rather than sit on the bench and just watch him, I thought, well, you know, why not? Growing older doesn't necessarily mean, hey, I gotta find a favorite chair and I've gotta golf. There's always something new to learn, something different to try. It's a never-ending process of improving myself.
And figure skating is not something you master overnight.
It rewards incremental improvement. You get a real immediate sense of satisfaction about being able to do something that you couldn't do an hour ago. You're looking at people doing these things out there and you're thinking, oh wow, I'm never gonna be able to do that. And then all of a sudden you can do that.
And sometimes everybody needs a little maintenance.
I can be having the worst day. I put my skates on and I step onto that ice and for an hour or two, it's all gone. I find it's probably one of the best therapies out there.
You should always be moving forward, but it's always nice to stop and appreciate just how far you've come.
To be able to put the finished piece together and see it all and actually skate it in front of an audience and in front of judges, it's a lot of fun.
Senior Airman Nick Dastas, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
The U.S. Figure Skating Association hosts competitions across the country in a variety of categories and age groups, so it's never too late to try something new. Taking time to do what you enjoy is beneficial, Sergeant Julie Jaeger shows us how one Air Force Staff Sergeant finds delight in singing.
Everyone has something they're passionate about.
Singing means everything to me. It's what I do. I do it all the time, and I enjoy singing with my coworkers and the people in the choir. We all have fun. We come together. We sing. We laugh. We dance. We praise. So singing is one of those things that keeps me happy. It's embedded in me. It's something that like I said, I've done for a very long time, since I was a child, and it's one of those things that takes me back home every single time. I love God, I love the Lord, and that's one of the talents that He's given me, so I feel it's my obligation to use it to inspire others. Being in the choir is one of those things that it draws people in, and it makes people happy. We come together and we forget about being away from our families, we forget about the troubles back at home. We just come together and we have a good time. We sing, we laugh, we praise. And it's one of those things that we have in common, that we share together. So.
I'm Army Sergeant Julie Jaeger, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Staff Sergeant Javonia Fields is a member of the Gospel Choir for the Gospel Sunday afternoon service here on Kunsan Air Base. Time machines are a tricky project to create. No one has yet made a machine to travel back in time, but Senior Airman Devin Nostein introduces a few people who know how the future might be shaped.
Without further ado, let's give it up for
Troops from USAG Yongsan gather to hear some words from the Pacific Command leadership. Command Master Chief Rudes's vision for the services is to create a better combined atmosphere.
As we develop our Joint Force 2020, as we immerse ourselves in these joint complexities, such as U.S. Forces Korea and all of our teams here, and then thrust ourselves into jointness and working alongside. Those are some of the examples where we have a chance to educate our forces.
After taking the future steps of ironing out the creases, Admiral Harry Harris speaks about the bigger picture.
I think that we are the model in the world for interoperability. And then we have to think in a combined way, fighting with our alliance partners in the big fight.
Senior Airman Devin Nostein, Yongsan, Korea.
This was Admiral Harris's first visit to Korea as the PACOM commander. Osan Air Base relies on its own special kind of sophisticated science to carry through with the mission. Senior Airman Robert Mason reports.
Any weather on the Korean Peninsula is subject to the viciously thorough scrutiny of Osan weather.
A lot of our job is preparing and making sure the incoming pilots know what weather is going to be forecasted for Osan, whether they're going to have any warnings, watches, or advisories flying and then taking off, and cause it all depends on our forecast how long they have to stay in Osan.
South Korea's diverse climate patterns can make navigating the airspace difficult.
So this time of the year, all the rice paddies have just been filled up with water. So this country is effectively turned into a swamp. So visibility, again, it just drops down. And it's a big challenge because some of these things you're just not aware of. It's not something that you generally think about when you're forecasting.
Their responsibilities are often as varied as the weather.
Now, whether that's having to divert our pilots to a different training location so they can accomplish their mission and stay up to date on all their qualifications, or whether that's forecasting rain 3 days out for the concrete pourers on Osan.
And it's all part of keeping an eye on the sky. Senior Airman Robert Mason, Osan Air Base, Korea.
Osan weather can track any weather cell once it's made landfall. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, June 18th. From all of us at AFN, enjoy your evening.
Preventing MERS is similar to preventing the common cold. Frequently wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer when soap and water are not available. Avoid touching your face with unwashed hands and cover your mouth with your arm when sneezing or coughing. Disinfect commonly used surfaces and avoid unnecessary visits to the hospital. Stay tuned to AFN, social media, and command websites for the most up-to-date information.